have to start doing things for the greater good of society and not for idiots who think that they can do their own research or that they are above the law and they can break the rules. Australia, Novak Djokovic, Australia said, no. We're going to look at the greater good of everyone in our society.
Okay, so that's a small clip right there from an interview that Donna, as y'all know, I like to call him Donna Lemonade, did on CNN on New Day. And y'all cannot tell me without the shadow of a doubt, before I get into this, that Donna was not the inspiration for Tom on the Boondocks. Think about it. The imagery was the same. They sounded just alike when they talked. I highly doubt he did the voice, but they sound, whoever the voice actor was for Tom on the Boondocks nailed that voice because they sound just alike and they have the same exact personalities. When I tell you Donna Lemonade has to be one of the biggest disappointments to black people ever, especially when it comes to media, because he never used, to my knowledge, he never used to be like this. He just evolved into this. He was like a Pokemon evolution gone wrong. Like, you would have wished he would have just stayed in his base state, in his original state. And I just want to know who hatched Donna, because I refuse to believe that this individual was born from a womb at this point. But I wanted to come in here and talk about that comment that he made. He said that, hold on, let me play it back because I want to make sure I get this one right.
We have to start doing things for the greater good of society and not for idiots who think that they can do their own research or that they are above.
Okay, he said we have to start doing things for the greater good of society and not for idiots who do their own research. So we now live in a society where doing your own research makes you an idiot, Donna. That's what you're telling us. And see, Don is that person who speaks to me as an elitist. You can always hear in his tone, he thinks he's the best Negro in the room. He just thinks that he's untouchable and invincible. Don, the only thing that makes you invincible is the fact that you lay up with a man. Because your blackness sure as hell would not protect you. Over there at CNN. The only reason they haven't gotten rid of you is because of your lifestyle. Not because you're a good journalist or a good host. Look, they got Chris Cuomo up out of there, and he's a quote unquote white man who has more authority or superiority than you do. Just on his name alone. Your bosom buddy. But we all know that Chris Cuomo is still a heterosexual man at the same time. So, it wouldn't be too much of a pushback. But see, Don, your lifestyle protects you. And he knows it. You can't tell me, sit up here and tell me that Donna does not know that him being in the academy does not protect him. And then on top of that, who he's married to a white male, a white man. That's his protection right there. His lifestyle and who he's laid up with. Because his blackness definitely doesn't do it. But he said that having or doing your own research makes you an idiot. In what world does that happen? How does doing your own research on something make you an idiot? And how is this like, he talking about the greater good of society. I wonder, Donna, do you think you're the greater good of society? Because if you think that, well, then the society must be down really bad. Or people such as yourself. But I've said this about Donna on my channel so many times. As a matter of fact, every single time I think I talk about him, I always talk about this elitist attitude, vibe that I get from him. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like anybody who comes with that elitist tone, especially other black people. I cannot stand it. Because, Roly Poly, he definitely has that elitist attitude where he thinks he's better than anybody. And we know that is simply untrue. So Don says that thinking for yourself and doing your own research, and he's basically talking about WooVid and the thing. Y'all know what I mean. When people say they want to do their own research and everything like that. Then he brought up Australia and Novak Djokovic, who I've done a video on last year in the comments that I made about him. I almost did a video about the recent stuff about him, but I decided to not do it. And talking about that because he was allowed to play despite the things that was going on over there. I think he ended up getting eliminated anyway, but they still let him play. And he brought that up. See, the thing is with Donna and people like him is they overstep their boundaries. And the thing is, I cannot wait for the day when Don slips up and says the wrong thing. But the thing is, he said a lot of the wrong things, but it's who he said them to. One of the best highlights for me when it came to Donna was when he went to Ferguson during Mike Brown back in 2014, and the people basically ran him up out of there. And I'm talking about other black people. They didn't want him there because they already knew how Donna was. Don knows who likes and does not like him. And for the most part, many black people do not care or let alone tolerate Donna. And he has to know this. And he probably does, which is probably why he hangs around the people that he hangs around. Like literally, Donna is the epitome of an Oreo. Chocolate on the outside, white and creamy on the in between. That's him. Through and through. But he has a lot of nerve to say that. But see, here's the thing. He's another one of the people that thinks that whatever he says is right is all factual, even though a lot of stuff he says is very opinionated and can be debunked. But when you have an elitist thought process like him, then you can't tell him he's wrong.